After several years of sitting on the shelf, we finally have arrived at a world where half of Ironheart has been released upon the world, and well, the responses have been quite interesting. Now at this point in time, and when I'm recording this on Tuesday evening, I do believe that the first 3 episodes have in fact released. By the time that you guys see this video, obviously it'll be out there and people will, of course, have their early reactions and they'll be letting you know, what kind of a story we're in for so far. But I'm not going to be reviewing this, okay? I'm just simply going to do what I always do in regards to this stuff. Look at the overall reaction and how the studios and how the people attached to this stuff react to the slop that they have put in the trough that they expect everybody to eat up, but in reality nobody's watching this stuff, and what you're doing is so cringe it deserves to be mocked and ridiculed into oblivion. Because for everything that we've seen in regards to this, it's really just it's a throwback to a time when, hell, it was actually written and filmed, okay? Like, this is definitely a product of those early 2020s, which is wild to think about that we're here in 2025 and this was all filmed and ready to go in late 2022, early 2023. And just the sheer time capsule that it is for just how bad things really were in entertainment in that time frame, and how we've kind of gotten back to a little semblance of sanity. It's not that things have gotten better. Like, it's not like the scripting or the character work has gotten better, especially out of these big studios. Oh no, don't get it twisted on that one. It's a different type of cringe that we were dealing with a few years back as opposed to what we're dealing with right now. And it's apparently, well, it's hitting normies a real hard, because the initial reactions were, oh boy, you can't even get an 80% from the critics for a Marvel project, huh? Especially one as perfectly cast for the Access Media types. That's not great. And then 39% from the audience, especially from the stuff that we're hearing and all the promotional material, which is fair to judge a project, or fair to judge a project on, because here's the thing: you release all of that stuff based on what you're promoting, and it is supposed to, one way or another, let you know what you're going to be in for if you decide to give up some of your free time to dedicate to the series, the movie, the game, the book, what have you. I don't think it's fair to judge the story or the character work based on the trailers, but you can judge the trailers for what they are and what they're setting up. So in conjunction with the very interesting marketing tactics that Marvel has employed with this series, because it's so funny, right? Because they've been really pushing this very, very hard over the past week or so with a couple of different celebrity cameos. But outside of that, you had the one trailer from a month ago, and then a nothing, and now all of a sudden, hey guys, we're big excited for the Fantastic Four trailer that's coming out later today. It's like, oh, okay, cool, we see where your priorities are. We'll talk about that cringe fest a little bit later, not the trailer, but God, just how cooked Marvel is. But actually, to be fair to Ironheart, right, like, these were initial reactions. Not everybody had their reviews in, but it's kind of weird for the critics because they should have already had their stuff in there. But it was only 14 reviews, and we don't even know how many normies that are out there rendered an opinion, because there's nothing provided there. But we can just take a look, and I'll even go ahead and refresh this to just, get the most accurate depiction. You've over doubled your professional reviewers, and they have dropped by 10%, so 69, nice. And that's about the only time that you can say that in conjunction with this project. But yeah, this one is that's not good. Okay, and Captain Black Falcon America Man even got a better critic score than that, and this has got to be definitely on the lower rungs of the D+ show, so I don't even know what that says. But hey, good news, everyone. I'm sure all of the review bombers and the people who this show was made for came around to Rotten Tomatoes to just go ahead and pump up those numbers, those rookie audience score numbers, to drive it up to near parity with the critic class. Kind of letting you know, once again, that Rotten Tomatoes is just such a terrible medium for review. Because, okay, in case you forgot, the way that this works is 69% of reviewers give this series a 6 or above. Okay, what exactly does that mean? Same thing with the audience score. 61%, the over 100 ratings give it a 6 or better. What exactly does that mean? Okay, because what a 6 to me is probably going to be different than a 6 to you, or different than a 6 from a professional reviewer, or even especially a games journalist, because a 6 is an unplayable piece of trash. But for me, it's an above average game, because if you're going to be using a 10-point scale, use every number on that scale. So that's why something like IMDb is a little bit more reliable. And 4. Yeah, I think we could be generous in thinking that that's about as bad as Ironheart could be, because, boy, I'm quite interested, and I'd imagine we'll probably get into the content of the 3 episodes towards the end of the week. But as we sit right now, all I can do is go off of the marketing material and, some of the rumors for the overall series. And fact of the matter is, yeah, the plot of Black Iron Man. Well, no, come on, she's not supplanting anybody, okay, with this really excellent CGI that they have once again, carrying on that tradition. The plot of Black Iron Man is that she gets magical powers, because she sells her soul to Mephisto, and then she uses them to steal stuff. Okay, what exactly? What are you trying to say, Marvel? Especially when you promote your show as just, never in my life have I seen something so diverse. And if the entire purpose of having all of this diversity on screen, not just for Ironheart, but for all of these other projects that are out there, this is white people are not supposed to take offense to this stuff, because introducing characters like this is just supposed to it is simply supposed to appeal to the people that are being represented on screen. So I take a look at that and go, oh yeah, Ironheart, yeah, it's not for me. Okay, but this is a continuation and a supplanting of the Iron Man story, which is apparently for me. So am I supposed to follow on with the sequel or the spin-off, or am I supposed to watch this because the original, it's not exactly the original source, right? But where the lineage, if you track the lineage of Riri Williams in the MCU back far enough with Black Panther, if I didn't watch Black Panther, which I still haven't, and I'd have zero intent ever to do as much, but if I didn't watch that film, that means that I'm a racist. And Bob Iger himself, Disney CEO, said that Disney, they effectively cured racism because they released that film back in 2018 that inexplicably made $1 billion, because unlike Ironheart, Black Panther and Barbie had the quintessential perfect marketing campaigns. It captured the zeitgeist at the absolute correct time. And Ironheart is the opposite side of that coin. They could not have done anything. This is the most perfect. It's the perfect storm of marketing. Okay, nothing has gone right with this one. This is a series out of time, featuring a bunch of unlikable, unknowable, unrelatable characters, and I just really cannot wait to hear a lot more about this stuff, because okay, cool, just simply peeling the curtain back a little bit on the reviews that are out there, and even the professional reviewers, because as we've seen the Rotten Tomato scores and the IMDb scores, it's not exactly going over as well as it would have if this thing was released, I would say, probably at the peak of all of the nonsense going on, 2019, 2020, and even when it was shot, 2021, 2022, that time. But by the time 2025 rolls around, because now you can have people come out with honest takes on this stuff and say, well, it's kind of Marvel fatigue, and well, we were so back with the Thunderbolts or the New Avengers. Funny how nobody wants to talk about that anymore. It's the Disney Plus stuff that is just really dragging down the overall mystique of Marvel. Because the movies, they're just so good. Let me tell you about my favorite part of Cap 4, right? I'm sure zero reviewers even remember a single scene, let alone the little Jewish super soldier, what her name was. They loved the film at the time. It was the best Marvel thing since the last Marvel thing. And Fantastic Four is going to be a return to form, and the best thing Marvel has done in 2025. Because, I don't know, are we finally going to get some honest reactions from people that are out there? Or maybe I'm thinking, maybe I'm just being a little bit too optimistic, because Marvel's Ironheart reactions are in, but you're racist if you don't like it. Yeah, that's the big byline, because I got a couple of reviews. I got a couple of reviews pulled up right here, and you got Movie Webb with the quintessential take, which everybody could see coming from a mile away, so that's why the moment that this one went up, everybody just started to collectively roll their eyes. Ironheart fulfills low expectations with a weak narrative, poorly written characters, and dull action. It was like, okay, yeah, that's totally what we expected. It is a Disney Plus Marvel show after all, and yeah, from everything that we've seen, and it's all based on a character that never worked in the comics, and just had a horrific origin story in Wakanda forever. So why would we anticipate that rogues gallery of LA Central casting? Why would we anticipate anything being better than that? But then, of course, if that was just simply the one-line review, Movie Web would be in the clear, but they couldn't help themselves. It will also arouse the ire of trolls who target Disney's diversity efforts. It's like, oh, okay, you shot yourself in the foot there, Julian Roman, there with your second sentence, mostly because, yeah, you kind of point out why all of the trolls and bigots and sexist and racist, it's just interesting how they're going to, and especially within the next week, because by the time that the second half of the season comes out and next Tuesday, people are going to be done talking about Ironheart. I don't even think that this one's going to last the weekend, okay, because it's probably going to be, I would imagine, like, structurally, maybe even storytelling wise, it'll probably be as bad as The Acolyte. It's just, I don't think, and based on the strength of the brand of Marvel, and I could end up eating my words on this one because it's not like Star Wars was really lighting the world on fire last year, but it really could end up being Marvel's Acolyte. That's the way that a lot of people are selling it, but that of course, you know, they're just trolls who don't want to consume the slop. But then we got somebody who was actually retweeted by the Marvel account. Okay, this is one of the more positive reviews with some of the most sketchy CGI. And I understand that this is a GIF, but bro, look at the suit transformation is real shit right there. And I understand, yeah, okay, but oh my god, the way that the fucking helmet flops down, like, oh, and especially just comes over the shoulders, it's so bad, but that's all right. I'm sure this only cost like $100 million, but yes, Ironheart is not Iron Man 4. It's so funny, right? Hey guys, this is a totally distinct property, okay? Unless, of course, there's somebody who turns up every once in a while to just, you know, lend some very well-paid words of hope at the feet of Dominique Thorne. But no, she's her own character, and we're done. No, the whole passing the mantle thing to a diverse female, that was something that never happened before. Shut up, you guys are just misremembering, okay? And that's a good thing it's not Iron Man 4. Well, yeah, especially because you take a look at the Iron Man trilogy that's in the MCU, and the way that it fell off was quite precipitous. So I couldn't imagine, even in today's climate, just how bad Iron Man 4 could be. So, yeah, okay, I guess we're on side with this one. Doesn't lean too heavy into Stark. What do you mean by that? Are there still vague allusions to him? And that could end up being the one in that they have if they somehow sneakily diss and subvert the character of Tony Stark. That could be tough, okay? Letting Riri Williams shine. And it's very possible, especially because they're setting up Doctor Doom and they kind of want to diminish Iron Man right now. And that is, of course, until RDJ dons the suit once again for Secret Wars Part 1 and 2. There's a depth with themes of trauma and overcoming grief. That's exactly what I want in my superhero film. That's why Thunderbolt did so well, because it also tackled those themes, and it's mostly because writers on these projects can only see in there, or rather can only view the world through the lens in which they live it, festooned with cat boxes everywhere and boxed wine dispensed through a silly straw. The dynamic between Riri and Natalie is the glue. What's Nat? Oh, right, that's the sassy black AI partner. Oh, that's so awesome. Big MCU reveal in the back half. A very Chicago show. Oh, a black lady stealing something. Yeah, okay, no, that totally makes sense. Good job, Brandon Pope. I'm sure the check cashed. But then you got POC culture, okay? You look at any positive reactions of Ironheart, and it's just full of racists having meltdowns. Not really. I'm just reading your reviews and seeing how vacuous they are. And honestly, a month or two when we get the viewing figures down the line, we're just going to see how many of those racists turned out to watch this stuff. My money's on it's not even going to track, so we're not even going to have tangible numbers to stack this stuff up with. But way more crying than any typical film or show. I really doubt that, man. These losers really can't handle a show starring a black woman superhero. I would imagine, like, if you search this account's history and go back to last year, you just need to replace, superhero or Marvel with Star Wars and Acolyte, and it'll probably just end up reading the same. So yeah, you're just once again fighting ghosts and tackling strawmen. Good job on you. That was obviously like an activist page, an activist profile, okay? POC culture is like, we know exactly what you prioritize above everything else. It's who's playing the character, not how well is the character brought to screen. But now we have the true shills of the world. Your Hollywood handles, culture craves, disgusting film, all of those type accounts. And even they, oh boy, aren't exactly giving Ironheart a pass, which is wild to see. Ironheart have some fun moments. What kind of grammar is that? But it's never interesting enough, nor it manages to stick the landing. Bland characters and super uninteresting plot that doesn't know where it wants to go. A disappointment overall. This is going to be really bad, huh? because even if the shills are coming out and saying, yeah, it's not very good and the characters kind of suck, and they're actually, you know, planting the flag in certain storytelling aspects that really ring true to all of those bigots that are out there that just want good stories, and when they're presented with Marvel and, well, really big studio slop, they just want to call you an isterophobe, when in reality it's like, no, there was a bunch of white people in 28 years later and that shit was dumb as fuck, but no, you just hate the black lady on the screen. Sure thing. But I'll tell you what I hate even more, these inauthentic and totally set up, well, just these reaction type videos in and of themselves, because it's kind of weird, right? Because on Twitter I just keep on getting recommended all of these, and I'm not even a foodie like that even at all, okay? My diet is very, very, very mundane, but I keep on getting all of these like gourmet cooking and presentation videos and a bunch of cute dog videos popping up. So to be fair, okay, outside of just World War III warmongering, I'm kind of fine with that. But in the mix with all of those cooking videos is all of those super organic prank videos that are out there, where it's like, oh cool, look at that super real authentic reaction with the person holding the camera just outside of frame, and oh yeah, I'm sure she is surprised that she got proposed to after you yank the tablecloth off of the restaurant table to reveal this grandiose display of simpery. But I digress. And how does that work into the Ironheart promotional tour? Well, once again, we have Robert Downey Jr. calling Dominique Thorne to celebrate the premiere of Ironheart tonight. Yeah, if you thought the Good Morning America line read was cringe, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Guess why I'm calling? It's June 24th.
And it's kind of hilarious, right? Because, okay, well, outside of RDJ still in his pajamas, but manages to be very well manicured, and we'll be paying attention to his background. But you can also see Dominique down there in the bottom left-hand corner, and her background does not match her. And there are several different editing mess-ups throughout the video. But yeah, if you can't tell by the dialogue and the delivery that this is fake, this amount of continuity problems, it ended up throwing it off for me to begin with, because I already knew that this was going to be staged and a total put off, but I didn't realize just how bad it would be.
Calling. It's June 24th, which is
It's Dad's birthday. Happy birthday.
my dad's birthday. Thanks for your considerate. Also, got to do too much press. Ironheart premieres today. It's all been leading.
Okay, and yeah, first of all, screaming like that is totally cringe, but also how she's one way in the shot and then at the other, she's facing the other side of the bed. So yeah, whatever, man.
Isn't that exciting?
Oh my God, thank you. Thank you for the call.
17 years.
And also, gotta get this. Oh, no, we're just about, there it is. Look at the camera in the background. Totally authentic, but, you know, this is his, it looks like, because you can see a bunch of gym equipment in the background. Maybe this is RDJ's home gym, and he was just so inspired by being around all of that equipment that he needed to call Iron. All of this is so fake, man. I can't even pretend to care.
Premiere of Ironheart, and we're in this love together.
Man.
Who the fuck says shit like that? We're in this love together? Bro, come on now.
Man.
I've grown so fond of you, it's bananas.
Thank you.
Congratulations. I'll be watching it with the world, and we'll keep each other posted, yeah?
Oh my God, okay, yes, we will.
All right, let's go.
Oh boy, that is oof, it's almost as cringe as the show is gonna be, but it's so funny, right? Because was it Monday or over the weekend? No, I guess Monday had this little featurette coming out, and well, it highlights two of the cast. In fact, like let's get the names pulled up on this one. Okay, so we have we got Slug and Jerry, very inspired names that you have right there. They ended up getting they ended up getting their own little featurette just to show how much of ass kickers they are going to be in this series and just how believable it's going to be. I mean,
your dream is to be able to do this stuff, you know, knock some big guys out and like walk away and be like.
I love that we have Zoe Charakis and Shea Coulee in powerful positions.
Yo, what? Okay, just Okay, I can't believe any of this stuff to begin with, but just this a wide swing up there at the top, like there is like didn't connect with anything, my guy. Okay, like it's just how far away that stuff is, and I understand like you can slow down and pick apart several different types of action scenes in much better productions than this and find fault with them, but once again, it's another Marvel production, and this shit just looks so bad. Like, okay, a lot of those Daredevil fights, they were really trash, dude. And even the one from Echo, okay, nobody remembers Echo, but if you remember that first Daredevil fight, just how snug that big boot from Echo was on Daredevil, like, it was a mile away, and that was the best that you can do, but hey, it was a oneer, and that makes it very impressive. Yeah, well, this is a chick pretending to be a dude, or is it vice versa? I don't really know, man. Is somebody playing make-believe, and no, we're not just talking about the drag queen Slug, and we're supposed to take this seriously? Okay.
I flipped a guy.
Yeah. And punched him.
And I punched him.
It's really mind-blowing to come into my first scripted series and have it be in the MCU. After starting on a Marvel show, like, where do I go from here?
Well, probably to the unemployment line. But you want to talk about white privilege, huh? My first scripted series, and you get a big fat MCU paycheck. Well, if Tony Gilroy's anything to go on. Probably. Well, actually, no. When this was made, they were still throwing out money hand over fist. So, yeah, you probably got paid very handsomely. Pun intended. But yeah, okay, cool. That was not at all inspiring and in fact quite cringe, but several different times we have seen superhero movies saved on the red carpet. Okay, Madam Webb immediately comes to mind, so perhaps, I was going to say Ironheart could end up being one of those cases, but clearly not, okay, because you have your big premiere on what looks to be Disney's back lot or something like that. I have no idea, but oh my god, red carpet royalty, and yeah, premieres on the Shea Coulee just turned this premiere into a runway. Yeah, it's just really crowded response that you have right there. Okay, so fantastic and fabulous, or whatever the hell you want to say. But I've seen several other responses, okay, or several other videos taken from that red carpet. And it was not at all well attended, for one thing. And that guy who said that he was definitely going to be there. Okay, we're going to see it. I'm going to be there. I'll be watching it with the world. Couldn't turn out to the red carpet. Couldn't turn out to the premiere. The only person of note that was there was Ryan Coogler, and he looked like he would rather be anywhere else but there. Yeah, this thing is not going to be good, huh? Another one, just like the Acolyte, that we could see coming from a mile away going, ooh, this is probably going to be bad. I'd be open if you could go ahead and subvert my expectations, but I think in this case, once again, they're going to be met and perhaps exceeded in how bad and catastrophic this will ultimately be. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.